Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic.
Welcome back, listeners, to Psychic Bent. And today's episode, we're going to start our angel series. So today we're going to discuss the 10 different types of angels, and we're going to kind of give a little bit of each one and what they do. And, I think angels tie into any kind of belief. Now, there are some beliefs that don't do angel work, and that's fine. You have light workers that do a lot with angel work. A lot of this is not going to be based on religion, because most people think, religion, angels and stuff. But we're basically going to go over the 10 different types of angels. And some of them you may know already, some you may not, be familiar with their names. But Kim, is there anything you want to add to that?
I think that angels are actually, people can call them other different things. They may know them as other types of beings, but in a lot of religions and practices, angels are the same thing. They represent and do the same for everybody, but they may call them something different.
True.
In other practices, may know them as something different than angels.
Do you have an example?
No, I don't. I'm just saying that I do think that some other practices know them as something else. Can I give you an example of that? No, I didn't go into that type of research on angels. I just think that all of this is based on the same concept.
I almost tie them in with my spirit guides.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I talk to angels just like I talk to my spirit guides. I do more, like I said, as a light worker, angels, I talk to them, ask them for help. Like we've talked about in previous episodes, you don't know what you need, so you just ask. And I think that's the key for anything, spirit guides, angels, whatever. They're there to help. You just have to ask.
Right.
On certain things. And when we had the episode of miracles, those were prime examples where angels stepped in
Mm-hmm.
and protected us and the people in the stories we related. Whether they're a guardian angel or an archangel or just angels. I mean, they're around us and they're there if you need them. Whether you really believe in them or not, if you felt like you were in a dire situation and you needed some protection, you could call on Archangel Michael, and whether you believe it or not, he's going to show up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You may not see him, because if you don't see angels, you're not going to see him, but he's going to be there to protect you if he can.
Right.
Not if he can, but he's going to do what he can to protect you. It depends also on your life path, and if something's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. But if you're in a situation where maybe you're feeling you're under a psychic attack, or you're walking down the street and you get that spidey sense that something's not right,
Mm-hmm.
you can call on Archangel Michael, and he's going to come in and he's going to help protect you. And the thing is, you don't have to believe. If you feel that bad, that threatened, that you need some spiritual help, call on him. And he's not going to go, oh, you don't believe in me, I'm not coming. But I've called him Archangel Michael numerous times in the last few months. It's just with certain situations that were happening in my life, and it was just like and I felt better.
Yeah.
You're laughing at me.
No, I'm not.
You heard her laughing, folks. She laughs at me a lot. Was it you told me the other day I was the comedy relief?
The comic relief, yeah. To my stoic and
yeah, that's what you told me the other day. You're the comic relief.
Yeah. So I also believe that angels, that our world is, and universe and everything is dimensional. Like we are in the third dimension, but I think they're in a much higher dimension that we are at. The seventh dimension is where they come from, where they start from, and that they are there to help us because that's where we're all from.
Yeah.
That is my belief.
Oh, very good. Well, it's the first time you shared that with me. I was just kind of found it interesting.
Okay. They also function on a much, 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 much higher vibrational and frequency than what we are at. And that's why when we're lifting up our vibrations, we're able to communicate more with
Oh
those
yeah.
higher and higher and higher beings that are greater than we are or higher than we are.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, when you raise your vibration, that's why you're able to communicate more with your spirit guides
Mm-hmm.
when you raise your vibration, and you see more supernatural things too when you raise your vibration that are things of love and light.
Right, right. A lot of people, probably the majority of people, don't ever really see angels, but they feel that unless they want to be seen. But I know that you can train yourself to feel them. And especially if you have your natural psychic abilities open and ready to go up to that higher vibration and frequency to be able to really feel them and see them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense.
During the research, I found that there was a hierarchy to the actual angels. I thought maybe we could go over what they are, what the hierarchy is. Does that sound good?
Yes, I think that'd be
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
All right. So I found that the first one at the very top of the chain, food chain, or however you want to call it, the top of the hierarchy were the seraphim. I found that they were angels of love. Their name actually means fiery ones, and they appear, or their appearance in everything, even in ancient cultures and in ancient artwork. They are signified with the color red, and the strengths for the seraphim are purifying sin, and they are controlling of fire, and they also have mind control. Now, they have 6 wings to match the days of the divine creator. So, a lot of this is through the teachings of Christianity and the Jewish belief and other religions. That's why you get the divine creator and the higher spiritual beings out there, or the universal creator, however you want to look at it. They bring in the actual beliefs of the 6th day God created Earth and then rested on the seventh. So, this actual series of angels are depicted with 6 wings. They are known for singing and keeping the vibrations of the universe high and the light energy flowing. They act as messengers between you and spirit and carry out tasks from spirit or the divine. They are powerful and transformative beings that can help individuals connect with the divine, and they are believed to radiate pure love and seen as guides that can help individuals with their spiritual journey. Is there anything you have for the seraphim?
Well, they have more than one face.
Okay.
There's 4 of them, and each has 4 faces, and are also known as fiery serpents. Not even the other divine beings can look on them. So they are the closest to the divine or God.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're first in the hierarchy, because they are the closest. So that's what I have on seraphim. Again, with what you said as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, what I did find is, and when I never thought to just use a hierarchy when you're praying or asking for angel help, because like we said before, sometimes you don't know who you need.
Right, exactly.
So it's interesting as we go through the hierarchy on the different types of angels and what they do. I just find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Also, when they come to Earth, they leave their serpent appearance behind, preferring tall, thin, clean-cut human embodiments.
Hmm.
I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
So if you come across a thin, tall, clean-cut human, be careful. You might be talking to one.
That's funny.
You had mentioned earlier about the angels. The angels show themselves when they want you to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked in previous episodes how I saw there were 4 angels with mom,
Mm-hmm.
and that. So it really pushed me closer to, I think, angel work when that happened. To delve in more into talking with angels and asking for help, and that kind of spurred me on to this path. And everybody has something in their life that puts them on the path they're supposed to be on. That I think that's what kind of, I mean, I always believed in angels, don't get me wrong, but I think that's when I really started to start communicating with them more.
Mm-hmm. So is that what you call angel work, where you're calling on angels to help in a situation?
Yes. I ask angels to do all sorts of different things, whether it's pertaining to me or someone I know or a situation. It's got to where, I'm just like, it's like how I talk to my spirit guides. It's more like a friendly conversation, kind of thing. It's not not like what you see in a church where it's very pious and you're trying to find all the perfect words to have your, prayer answered. It's more of a, like I'm talking to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, especially when it's the one like, okay, I don't know which angel does this, but this is what I need.
Right.
And we're going to dive into what all the archangels do in the next episode, not this one, but we're going to touch on archangels, but it's kind of where you learn which ones you need. But there's so many levels of angels, like we're going into, that maybe that's not a task for an archangel. Maybe that's a task for this other angel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's kind of why I kind of like, okay, whoever's in charge of this, because I don't know. You research, you learn what all the angels do, and you try to utilize that, but not every situation is black and white.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yin and yang and all those other things.
So you said sometimes you just don't know. You need help, you just don't know, or you haven't delved into anything with angels, and you're listening to this podcast, and then maybe down the road, a situation happens, and it's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute. I think I need an angel right now. I need some help. So hopefully that helps. But like I said, you don't have to like be an angel worker or a light worker to ask angels to help you.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
It was very hard, but I got it out. All right. So now the next one, I didn't realize that every time I called them cherubs, that was the plural.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just thought they were, that's what with the, but was it cherubim? Is that how you say it? Cherubim?
Cherubim.
I just call them cherubs. And I'm putting an S on the end of it. It's already plural. So I'm just like, wow, I am so not grammatically correct on this.
I don't think anybody really is.
Well, I'm really not. But these angels are the keeper of the celestial records, and they hold the knowledge of God or the divine. They are sent to earth with great tasks, such as expelling humankind from the Garden of Eden. Ancient art depicts cherubs as sphinx-like winged creatures with human faces, not the fat babies with wings that now grace greeting cards and everything.
Right.
What do you have for cherubs, Kim? Do you have anything?
Well, I have that they appear as blue, and that their strengths are invisibility, wisdom, and inciting love. Seeing cherub signifies divine presence and protection. It's an affirmation that you're being watched over by high energies or receiving guidance from ethereal realms. They also prompt introspection, inside yourself, because they symbolize wisdom and knowledge as well. And as you said, they are tasked with making sure that the universal laws are kept, and they can rain down trouble on other angels, demons, and humans who step out of line. That's what I found.
They're badasses.
Yes, they are.
They're the ones that are keeping it straight.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny is I always envision Archangel Michael like with a motorcycle jacket on,
Oh.
tough dude. It's just kind of like, don't know why, but I've always envisioned that. So now I'm going to have a mental of cherub.
Yeah.
I said it without the S that time. What they look like. I was just like, okay.
Exactly.
Now I'm not familiar with Thrones. That's number 3 was Thrones. Have you heard of Thrones before?
I have heard of thrones before, plus their description, but I did not realize or make the connection that they were angels. So, yes. Um,
Yeah, I think that was my thing. Yeah.
yeah. So why don't you go ahead and describe that, the reason why you say that.
Well, I mean, their appearance is the most bizarre
Yeah.
of the first grouping.
Yes.
They look like great glowing wheels covered with many eyes, and they serve as God's chariot and dispense his judgment in order to carry out his desires for us.
Right.
So a big glowing wheel covered with eyes. It's like, I think I would remember that if I saw that.
Yeah, and if you look back in like ancient Egypt paintings and artwork from long ago, they depict these wheels with eyes all over them that I never made the connection that that's what that was. But I can remember seeing it in different artwork
That's
throughout
what
the
that was,
centuries.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it
Hmm.
obviously it's something that we didn't know was there, but it's been around for a while. Now I found that the appearance for them
Well,
is
yeah, of course it's been around for a while.
yeah. Now the appearance is orange yellow fire. That's how their appearance is. And the strengths are delivering justice, bringing peace, and bringing balance to all situations. Now, I found this interesting is that they are angels who see that karmic justice is carried out in all situations and that they are the peacemakers who dispense the justice and power of the divine.
These are very busy angels.
They are.
Very busy angels.
Now, they are also filled with brilliant light that reflects the brilliance of wisdom and that enlightens your minds. They've got a lot of work to do in this world today.
Yes, much needed angels there.
Yeah.
Number 4, we have dominions or dominations. I thought this one was interesting because, you always have Hollywood that they make it sound like the Dominion is a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
in horror movies. And so it's an angel. It's like, what are you doing? And
Right.
so that's how they get things wrong a lot. The named, I guess, dominions can be used negatively.
Yes.
But I mean, these angels exist in a state of transition between the celestial and human worlds. They are basically the heavenly governors attempting to strike a balance between matter and spirit, good and bad. Think of dominion as middle management. They receive orders from seraphim and the cherub, then dish out duties to the worker bee angels of the lower orders. Their main purpose is to make sure that the cosmos remains in order by sending down powers to heads of government and other authority figures. Zadkiel, sometimes called Hashmal, is the chief of this order.
Right. And their appearance is purple, and their strengths are bestowing deserved mercy and leading lower ranking angels and channeling divine creator's pure energy to all life.
So they do a lot of good.
They do. They do. They ensure that everything in the universe happens in accordance with universal laws,
Yes, yes.
and the laws of cause and effect flows through the dominion angels and into the universe.
Okay.
That is so cool.
It is cool.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it is cool. Number 5 is virtues. These angels are shaped like sparks of light. Virtues are in charge of maintaining the natural world, and they inspire living things in areas such as science. They also take orders from the angels above and convert them into miracles for the deserving. When they make themselves known to us in the earthly forms, they are musicians, artists, healers, and scientists who work with the power of love as well as physics. The 2 angels of ascension in religious belief of Jesus are believed to be virtues. So the 2 angels at the time of ascension that were at the grave were virtues.
Mm-hmm. Now, their color and appearance is green, and their strengths are controlling the elements, bringing miracles, controlling the natural world, animals, and plants.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. Now, these angels are also angels of choice, guiding humans in their decisions and dilemmas.
So I'm curious if the virtues were the ones with mom.
Well, that could be.
You know, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know. Don't know for sure,
yeah.
but it kind of, sounds very interesting.
Or it could be one of the ones coming up
Yes.
that could have been with her.
It could have been. We'll never know. We won't know until we transition.
That's right.
Because it really doesn't matter which angels were there. It's the fact that they were there, So
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Is like, to me, it
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
They were there.
Didn't matter. Yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6 is powers. In their celestial forms, powers appear like brightly colored hazy fumes. Powers are border patrol agents between heaven and earth. They are the angels of birth and death. Okay, there we go. Some believe that they also preside over demons who wish to overthrow the world, while others, namely St. Paul, thought the powers themselves were the evil ones. In any case, powers are a group of experts who serve and advise in terms of religion, theology, and ideology.
Okay. Now, their appearance is amber, and their strengths are battling demons, restoring natural order, and healing.
Interesting.
Now, I had in my research, I also found, but I thought you mentioned it earlier, that they also record the history of mankind and are guides for lost and troubled souls.
Nice.
So their powers are guardians of the passageways leading to heaven and the other spiritual planes from earth. I thought that was really interesting
It
as
is
well.
very interesting. Okay, so we're ready for number 7.
Yep.
Okay, number 7 is Principatality. You have to say it. I can't.
It's principalities.
Thank you. I'm not able to say
You're welcome.
prin- principalities. It doesn't
There you go.
flow off my tongue. And with my habit of mixing words up, I was looking at that going, I'm gonna mess that up so bad. So,
Yeah.
yeah. This third group of angels is the one ordinary humans will have the most interaction with. The angelic beings are shaped like rays of light, just like a principal in school, the principalities, oh my gosh, oversee everything. These angels oversee everything. They guide our entire world, nations, cities, and towns. They are in charge of religion and politics, and their plate isn't full enough. They also are in charge of managing the earthly duties of the angels below them.
Right. Now, their appearance is pink, and their strengths are causing births and deaths, inspiration and innovation, and guarding the pathways between earth and the spiritual planes. They are angels of personality and time. They influence humans through the inspirations, ideas, situations, and circumstances they create.
They're very busy.
Very, very busy.
All right, number 8 is archangels. If you had asked me before we did all of our research, where would you have ranked archangels? I would not have put them 8.
I would have put them at the top because that's where I would have put them. Because I didn't know the
Yeah,
others, so, you know.
yeah, exactly. So archangels are number 8, and like we said, we would have put them closer up, and that's because we're not evidently knowledgeable of the hierarchy of all angels. But these angels are guardians of people and all things physical. But don't call on them to help you personally. Archangels respond best when dealing with matters involving all humankind, such as justice. The order of the most commonly known, because some are mentioned in the Bible are Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Archangels engage in spiritual warfare by fighting against demons or bring messages from God, such as when Gabriel came to Mary to tell her that she was going to be the mother of Jesus. And it is believed that there are only 7, but we're going to dive into that when we get into archangels. But what do you have for them, Kim?
They are angels of fire who carry the divine creator's decrees to humans. You pretty much had what I had as well as far as the archangels. I couldn't find any color reference or strengths for the next 3 that we're going to cover, but I think that they are extremely very powerful.
Yeah, I know that the research said that you're not supposed to call on them, but if you have something as a spiritual attack on you or a psychic attack on you, I mean, that's definite when you need protection. You need that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I personally am going to do it, because if they're not the ones that can help me, they're going to send who can help me. But if I feel that something is being sent my way that is not, it's sent to hurt, not to help,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to want that protection.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. And then number 9, we have angels. Why are you laughing?
It's exactly what I was thinking. So, you're going to call on them if you think you need them. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. And stay out of my head.
Okay.
You don't want to be in there today.
Moving out.
Okay, so number 9 is angels, and these are regular angels. They are guardians of people and all things physical, and the most common type of angels. These angels are sent as messengers to humanity. Personal guardian angels come from this category. Angels may protect and warn humans as well as act as warriors on behalf of God and the divine.
Cool. They are not only carrying messages to humans, but to all life on earth. Now, these are the lowest ranking battalion of angels, and like you said, are the ones that are closest to the humans. Now, we ask for the help from them in practically every situation, from finances to healing and everything in between. So they're the worker bees, I guess you could say.
To Julie's parking spaces?
Well, yeah. I agree. They're the ones that the archangels and the ones all above would send in to help us whenever we are asking for help. And I believe there's so many. Of course, you don't know them all by name or anything or what their actual duties are. That's when you call upon whoever is in charge of this. Help me out here.
Yeah, I need help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And so the final in the hierarchy are the guardian angels. Now, every single person has their own guardian angel who protects us, loves us, and looks after us. They hold and know what you would call the divine blueprint for your life. This is the soul contract that you agreed to before you were born. We all agreed upon what kind of life we were going to be having in this lifetime before we were sent down and born. And the guardian angels keep us on track. Sometimes the life events can be traumatic, but there's always a lesson in every situation that your soul needs to learn. And your guardian angel organizes all of these coincidences and synchronicities and stuff that you experience as part of your soul contract and for those lessons that you need to learn. So whenever you're having things happen, I guess you could blame your guardian angel for introducing you to your ex and learn your lesson from that. And then on the other side, you can thank them for whenever they bring you your lifelong friends and the positive things that happen in your life as well, because there's lessons in that as well. And when the time comes for your physical death, the guardian angel will step aside and let you transition.
So, I think most people don't want to acknowledge that they signed up for this. They don't want to acknowledge that there's a life contract, because when something bad happens or when something good happens, that's part of the plan, what you signed up to do and go through. Now, we do get off track, like you said, and we get nudged back on because we got that free will thing and we don't remember what our life contract was when we come down.
Right.
So it's kind of, something bad happens and you don't take it like, why did I sign up for that? You make it more about why me?
Mm-hmm.
Why did this happen? Why, and that's something that you signed up for. I mean, it's a different way of looking at things. If something bad happens or if something good happens, you just kind of take the thought process of, well, this is what was supposed to be.
Right.
Don't know why, but it's just how it's supposed to happen.
And then you have to ask yourself, did I learn my lesson with this? Did I learn a lesson with this? Or what lesson should I have learned with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What lesson? Yeah. Yeah. And it's like the way you were we've had to record many podcasts over where the program that records, like one time the program that recorded me shut off
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in the middle of recording. And so we had to redo the podcast on a different day. We've had situations, well, when we did with our sister Julie, the first recording of it, you couldn't hear her at all.
Right.
It was just like she was in front of the microphone. So we had to redo it. And, it doesn't do any good. We don't get upset. We like to blame Mercury a lot of times when it's in retrograde. And the joke today is the moon wobble.
Yeah.
Everything that's going wrong, we're blaming it on the moon wobble. But that first podcast with Julie wasn't supposed to be. And she was a little upset, which, because that's an hour and a half of your time you're not getting back. And we had to reschedule it and set another time to do it. But, and Kim was just like, it wasn't supposed to happen. No big deal. It's just, it wasn't supposed to happen, and we're used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, here's another one, that we have to redo. And it happens quite often where we will have to go back and re-record part of a podcast. And I know it's probably boring to the listeners to hear that, but it's a situation with life, this was supposed to happen.
Right.
Or this wasn't supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of taking that kind of outlook on it, because when something really bad happens, it's so easy to internalize it and to have those egotistic self-talks to yourself that aren't good or aren't kind.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's just where it's how I guess your perception. Just like if you believe that angels and do angel work, your perception is that they're going to help you. You may not know who, but they're going to help you. I mean, the situation with your car accident where the third person was seen in the vehicle.
Right.
Well, hello, I mean, that was an angel that came because they were keeping you safe because it was not your time.
Right. That's why in that episode I said that was my guardian angel or our guardian angel that was there to help us. Mm-hmm.
Right, because that was a good example, I think, of it was horrible that it happened, and it was so upsetting for you and for all of us, obviously, but more so for you and your daughter, because you lived it, went through the experience, but it was supposed to happen.
Right.
We don't know why, but I mean, we have theories on how it helped Mom, with the angel there, and we have theories on possibly a life lesson for the girls that that caused the accident.
Right.
Who knows what that life lesson, who knows why. We can analyze it and try to come up with stuff, but sometimes these things happen and we never know why, but it was just supposed to happen.
Right.
I mean, I'd like to think that there's a good lesson in my divorce. And I've come across some good ones that I think, but it was what's supposed to happen. And I had someone ask me, a close friend, how are you doing? Why, and they were so, I want to say, melodramatic about it. Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. No, if you, no, if you, I'm sure you're not okay. And I'm just like, I'm fine. It's like, because it was supposed to happen.
Right.
Did it, did it hurt? Of course it did. Of course it did. But am I going to milk it out for a year and a half or whatnot or so many months? No, because I dealt with the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with the fact that this was supposed to happen. This was the life path. And I've seen several things since then that have fallen into place.
Right. Yeah.
So this person doesn't understand because they don't operate from the belief of things happen for a reason.
Right.
But they also have a lower vibration, much lower vibration. So they don't understand when people are okay with something, because it was supposed to happen.
Their lower vibration is their mindset of, well, that person did this to you. And it's like a negative instead of, they look at it as the negative part. You're supposed to be upset. You're supposed to be depressed. You're supposed to be needing help. He did something
Right,
horrible to
right.
you, or the world did something horrible. And that's because of where they're at in their beliefs in life and mindset. They're not seeing that there was a reason, and this is your path, and you have to live it and learn, and things will be things will work
Right.
out, and they can't feel that.
And I think some people, when their vibration is that low, that and don't have this belief, that they almost get joy. I hate to say that, but almost get joy out of someone else's tragedy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they feed off of it. That's their living the
Yes.
soap opera life. They love how the soap operas make them feel, and life is a giant soap opera to them. So they get their kicks
Yeah.
from it, their highs, however you want to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah. And this is where we've talked about, as psychics, having boundaries and putting boundaries in place. And again, we need to reiterate that when your vibration raises up, the more boundaries you put into
Mm,
place. If you're going to be doing angel work and calling on angels, your vibration needs to be high, and you can't be psychically active if you're constantly around someone who's dragging it down.
right.
Yeah, so a little side tangent from from angels.
But I also believe that even if your vibration is low, you can ask for help from the angels to help you to raise your vibrations, or to get you to help direct you to get to a point to where you're at a higher vibration as well. Besides you doing your work to raise your vibration, you can ask for that help as well.
Yes. And I think that identifying that you need to ask for help is big.
Right, because I don't want everybody to think that, oh, if you're just at a low vibration, you don't get this help. You can get this help at any time, in my
Oh
belief.
yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Anyone could ask for the help. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like we said earlier, even non-believers, if you're in a situation where you just need help,
Mm-hmm.
you can ask.
Right.
And you don't have to know the players. You don't have to go back, okay, what hierarchy do I need? Which one? You don't have to do that. You just ask for help and you'll get the help. And sometimes you get it when you don't ask.
Right.
And
Well,
I
I don't know. Will you get the help if you don't ask? Because
well,
angels
you
have
got help. You got help in the car accident. You didn't ask.
true, but that was not my time, our time to go. So they were
Mm.
keeping us safe because, according to our contract, we have more to do. So they had to keep you safe.
But you didn't ask for it,
Didn't ask for
even
it.
though they
True.
had to do it.
True.
Right, right. I mean, I didn't ask for that. I mean, I think that I don't know why the angels showed themselves to me when it was getting close for Mom's passing, but they did. And so to me, that was, like I said earlier, a way to they were showing themselves to me to show me that I needed to believe in them and trust in them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I didn't ask for them to be there. I didn't ask them to show themselves to me. I was more, I was giving Mom Reiki to help her with the transition, and I was doing that kind of stuff. And so I was trying to do what I could do to give her comfort. It's just kind of like I didn't ask them to show themselves to me. I didn't even know they were there
Mm-hmm.
until they did show
Right.
themselves. And you would think that they would put off some energy that you would, but I was busy doing other things. I was, like I said, giving Reiki to mom and just to make things go smoothly
Mm-hmm.
and to help her let go. And, because she had a foot in each world.
Right.
But I just feel like those angels were there without being asked. And somebody else might ask for them to be there. I don't know. But, they were comfort to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't ask them to come.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're waiting for you to ask them, and they will help you if it's in the life plan to help in the situation. But I think they also help you when you don't realize it too.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. Oh, here she goes again. We're gonna have to step in, to nudge her this way again. Like what is she doing now? That's kind of what I envision. It's
Yeah.
like, here we go.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it to watch her today?
Who wasn't watching her? Huh? Who let her off the track?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So they can really help you with your daily life and achieving your dreams. And this part I find really interesting is that they can even guide you to help you heal any ancient karmatic wounds that you might have from your past lives. So I think that is great knowing that they are the ones there to help you through that stuff as long as you ask for it. And
Well,
it's your life contract this time to help you through that, to heal those karmatic wounds and such.
I think people, especially if you were raised in a very strict religious upbringing, think that you can only call on angels under dire circumstances, and that they don't think, like you said, you can call them to help you with anything. Doesn't have to be bad. Doesn't have to be really negative. It could be like, hey, I need, if you're wanting to get a particular job, and help me get this job, or help me get a job that's going to facilitate this in my life. I think that you could, like you said, it's almost any experience you can ask help with.
Right.
And I think we just kind of hold out for the bad stuff. Meanwhile, Julie's going, okay, parking angel, I need a parking spot close to the door. So,
Yeah.
it's just different mindset, I guess. And hopefully this episode is opening you up to, our listeners to a different mindset. Whether or not you believe in angels is not the point. It's the life contract. You've got divine intervention happening. You can call it what you want. You've got situations in your life. You just stop and think of past events in your life. I bet you could find so many situations where you've had some sort of divine help.
Right.
Everything fell into place. Everything worked out smoothly.
Right. And you may find that when you think back upon it, you just said in your head, help me with this. How can I get through this? Help me. You may not even realize that you're
Yes.
asking for the help, but you are, and you have.
Right.
Even if you don't believe in a higher divine, you have been asking and receiving that kind of help all along.
And this is just Carrie, but I think you should also say thank you. Thank you for that help. Something falls into place. Thank you. For whoever did that, thank you. It's part of being grateful, working with a grateful heart. I just feel that I'm not saying you'll get more help by doing that. I just think that I think it raises your vibration when you're thankful.
Yeah, I could see that. And I agree.
Okay. Was there anything else on angels, Kim, that you wanted to share?
I think we've hit upon everything that I wanted to focus on as far as this portion. Yeah, I think that covered it all.
Good. All right, listeners, thank you for listening to this episode on angels. Please reach out to us with any questions, comments, what you thought of the episode, anything at all. We'd love getting feedback from our listeners. And you could reach us on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. And Kim's going to give us the email address.
It's psychicbent1@gmail.com. And before we do the final sign off, if anybody has any fun, spooky, scary ghost stories or folklores that they would like to share, we're putting together a special episode for our Halloween episode, and you can email us those. I would really like to put something together for us to have a really kind of fun and different episode for Halloween.
That should be a lot of fun. I know when we were brainstorming over episodes, Kim got real excited about this one. So
I get to go to the parts that I like to go to.
please send things in for her because she's very excited.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, listeners, and we will tune in next time. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to Psychic Bent. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.